I miss 2021. I'm gonna be flat out honest for this video. I love this year. This year was a foundation year for Dragon Ball Z and All America. Because it was a chance for me to have the same tools and to stay away and to be disgenerated. Brace yourself, this is an impactful video. After the knowledge of organic content won't be accepted after 2020, when I was in charge of YouTube, I started making soulful content like R&B. I put knowledge for being hard, dodging bullets from a gang every single day. Apple was a dichotomy of things that translucent into something that could potentially make the voice actor of Goku jealous. First off, Lily, let me tell you, I had a relationship, Lily, with everybody. Besides Brittany, the voice actor of Remu Slime, when it comes to the Dragon Ball Z cast, I had a voice acting career with everyone. Because I used to go to conventions a lot, and I made my new family there. One of those conventions I met Christopher Sabat, the voice of Vegeta. The point where he just became a normal person. A lot of things happened with that amount of information. Even though Dragon Ball Z could be ghetto. Anyway, bottom line, I had knowledge that they banged. The reason why I'm making this video is because I've been caught in a dilemma where somebody asked me to eat more vegetables. I'm the most healthy person today, especially in my 30s. Because everybody else is still smoking and drinking. I'm the only one who's evolving. Now, this is a running gag really with me and people who do group home shit. This is why I'm at standards, because a whole lot of people like to hide behind facts about the government but not have their mentality flipped. Because I'm making fun of autistic kids in high school. And they will keep on pursuing things like AK-47, reading, pretending to be an adult, hiding behind things like being tall without actually testing or changing their maturity. Now me, I got so good. It's kind of less silly for what it was used for, to the point where I was a hard rapper that listened to Hillary Duff. That's the main factor rule of my life versus yours. Now I realize that literally when I do decisions like that, they have return. Because that may be mainstream, I recognize that hard rap literally doesn't leave you open. When you get rap like that, that you understand other artists that revolve around instruments like Britney Spears and Fergie. You gain more of a benefit for your mentality and they're stuck with the same old shit. Anyway, turn one start off for actual multiple events. First off, the fight between my mom, where asked Gary again. It was Chi-Chi, but it meant something greater than that. It meant the Discovery Channel, Zabumafu. There's so many more other aspects, like, main point, Lily, was I was listening to Maroon 5, makes me wonder, Lily, why am I a reasonable age? Started when I was 25. People that were gang stalking that tried to set me up lately were trying to imitate the move I did with my hand. I ended up flicking, one eye with a finger like a light switch. It was hella funny. When I was king of 8th grade, and what was really good personally for me was I got to replicate I hung out in Andre's house in 8th grade, literally when they were talking about monster and music and shit. It was to my anime, My Hero Academia, with Kyoko Jiro and Momo. I beat 8th grade automatically. And then guess what happened? First of all, guess what's happening today? You lost in a war because you want to inflict something about your mentality being flipped. That means literally, if you went through the same thing, you could not withstand it. You could not withstand the situation in general. Guess what ends up happening? Literally, women are fighting like DBZ over this earth for me, going wild and crazy. And that girl went back and forth, literally, for earth for you and cut herself. Going crazy. I'm like, it's about time. Sorry, I was filled with. And also from this year, I got all the women are crazy for him in this world. I am the craziest. When Vanessa was up and coming, the key theory to this fight was I was an organic being. He tried to trip a Samurai Jack. The exact words were, "Wow, that poker face lasted long." So he's like, "Eris, fuck you." It was while I was cooking bacon, Lily. I was wearing a Barry Mac shirt on, Lily. A long sleeve shirt, Lily, with teal, pink, and it was really big and baggy. I told her I was gonna go fuck up the gang, Lily. This is trying to stop me, from going outside, Lily. I'm like, "You're 2 steps better than me, 2 steps better than me." That's what happened. I got murked. I got in debt. He fucked me up, Lily, when I was twice as fluid. The original idea was he was scared because in the hood I can't explain. That's just one part. The main aspect of this video, why I was pure and why the world was dirty, because the reason why, I didn't get things like girlfriends, the lavish things in high school, is because they weren't making organic content or acting organically as human beings. They didn't have the Animal Planet the most extreme. In fact, I even got a Mirage where I was dancing with Mama Cita, one of my baby mamas. That's all good with Moodtrix and Zabumafu. It was the funniest year of my life, Lily. It was the year I got to talk to the ghost of Barry White, Lily, because me and him share ideals, because this Norte gang was shooting me every single day. Lily changed the songs to my iPod. Lily recognized that, you listen to music with actual quality. And the ghost of Lily BW, Lily, hey, there's this Norte gang, stop hacking Eris's iPod. That's true because a lot of people go through the same ideals. This year, one of the big revelations, one of the biggest revelations was Rinkari cosplay. Our girl with pink hair, Lily. I never thought the purple hair girl, Lily, would come into play because I'm used to grabbing over 300, girls at a convention. This girl came to me and one of them was pink. Did was he cosplayed as Neji, and I originally made Rim's Island, but where am I getting at here? The biggest contradiction in the world is the fact that I recognize something. There's a flaw. I'm currently 30 years old. I just saw a movie with Liam Neeson. Love Actually, when I recognized what he dealt with his uncle when he finally saw his son. He is really old, he's 73. I'm shocked, but I also knew that about Ray Ramal's generation, like Uncle David. The reason why they're so, big and so toned, because of their bones. They've been drinking milk their whole life. They used to walk miles on top of miles. I used to walk at Alpha Omega. The same flaw revolves around me being the only one who eats vegetables. What was primarily the message for this year was the year before, lately, that was okay, which was 2020, that I had playlists like Arturo. This year, literally signified what they couldn't get away with that cringe bullshit anymore. Started to make more organic content, started making music like R&B. Start off with the video of Big Mama, Old Stepmother's House in American Canyon, where I had two older brothers, Dominic and Bobby, who I call Damo and Babylon. Comic book, and they started rolling literally about Chris's third, about everything. It was so fucking funny. Nigga fell through the ceiling. Was he stuck or something? The story was so good, and that year turned out so good that the voice of Sean Kingston talking to Steezo, you see how he separated the white rap from the right crap, Steezo? When I was in the shower too, so that year was turning out, magnificent. Guess what? As the stories kept on progressing, the Mexicans got more desperate. The point where we get the second page this year was so fucking big that I got Mirage from Chi-Chi that I was going to win entirely in the hood and everything. In outer space, that some little boy lived his life to Dragon Ball Z all the way to a point where we see Chi-Chi scared diminished. And one thing you have to understand, Lily, about me and my life, Lily, is when it comes to my mom and Chi-Chi, I can dance better as Chi-Chi. Guess what? You know that one angry tutor, Lily, for Gohan? At the end of the year, my YouTube channel was so big, had a big fan base. The point where I was shopping at Lucky's, I saw a guy in the afro look just like him. Made his voice an epic foreshadow that he wanted to dance battle me. After the truth serum was epic foreshadowed. So in doing so, Lily, Lucky's was my check-in, Lily. Me on the swings, down on my thighs. And guess what happened when it came to Armand? This is the second part of the video. The first part of 2021 is me versus my mom. That's the year again versus Chi-Chi. The second part is what I'm going to explain right now. An old guy named Morph that I knew in high school, Lily, that went out with a girl named Nikki, who scared Jalal. By the way, fun fact for this video, there was this one time I was scared to go inside for Uncle Sonny. He would always call me Nikki. Took a shit in the front yard, literally, instead of the fucking. So my mom was like, "Why would you do that?" I was all like, "I didn't want him to say Nikki." So in doing so, literally, when they recognized that I can, play video game and get away with it, listen to free music and get away with it, the Mexicans got the biggest idea that literally they're gonna put all their schemes together. Literally, this is when I was a king of anime, so simultaneously, side by side, when I was working with multiple, Norte, literally, one of them looked like Ryuhi. I was going literally to buy Mike's Pizza, literally, and I went to go get a new mouse. Simultaneously, the biggest event for the year, literally, when I was making a Valentine's Day special, which has multiple tropes in anime, that includes the history of Trunks, the deep timeline with Raven and Robin from Teen Titans. It has a character called Ravenetta. The one thing I'm good on my channel is that writing. So Ravenetta is based on Midnighter from My Hero Academia and Raven from Teen Titans. Also another character, Giovanni. Really based off me, but it's based off my brother Lily back when he used to watch Batman Beyond. And what happened was afterwards in 2022, I had multiple, battles with this guy named my brother with Batman Beyond. In doing so, I created this character called Jume. Parody of Yumi from Code Lyoko. I started to state 101 facts inside the video in order to epic foreshadow. I kept on locking them in the hood. I got to the hood, I got nothing. Literally, they knew that I could make it beat, so they literally said that the minute it goes up and down, well, I know how you make it beat is on repeat. They kill you, Lily. And Lily had, fallen baby mamas that I used to spank, Lily calling me in the middle of making songs. The biggest part about this year is why I got worried from PG with my nods of a grown man, knowing you have to go around PG in order to win, because some people are child molesters. I made characters like Zap and Jume, Lily. I knew that video was going to eat him up, especially my ex Lisa. I knew to be better than that. I knew that literally to put focus on characters like Gabai and Zofio, since they were the main aspects. And that's how I always do my way. No matter how much you want, spoil your cringe, PG, I'll always, put Gabai and Zofio over Jime. In the beginning of the year, I saw Frank in the advertising special was absolutely fantastic. Everybody loved it. Now, it went against my husband criticism, but not for martial arts. What I did was I drew the boxes bigger, literally, and drew the shapes, forms to close your perspective. And Armand noticed that. And the result made it look like Walt Disney because I kept on drawing the characters over and over again and made you understand. The soundtrack, of course. Another thing that happened in 2021, in the middle of me, arguing with my mom and dodging bullets. I was making up the Valentine's Day special, Lily, I recognized, yo, I'm gonna drop Crystal Elephant statue down there, and also Fortress of the Gothic Vampires. I'm literally going to this thing right now, Lily, I'm looking at a requirement from Chin from Bakugan. We'll see something, Fortress, she looks just like my mom. I can't even fall back on Chin in junior high, which was my best couple. Even though, Lily, I'm characters like House and Masquerade, Legacy Mercury was bare none, bar minimum. What happened when the Valentine's Day special fully dropped, Lily, is that, you don't really like this fam, Omar. Lily, what happened was zero Kimochi. Every girl, Lily, from the convention got on top of me, Lily, because I made the next version of My Hero Academia, Heroes Rising. Oh, girls are full of shit. Oh, they're very standard. Just have fun. The next Heroes Rising, Lily, came the next upcoming event. This is me versus Vladimir, not Putin, but Armand. Old plumber I used for his name in Incognito. He was there for my freshman year. He was SC assistant now. I'm like, whatever, just a part of a gang. I'm going to use the same formula. What happened was, literally, I had to diss him because I needed something to escalate in order to get a message through to them. So I went to go get him out, silly, and the same day that I dissed the Axo gang was when I got hit by a fucking car. This is simultaneously while I'm thinking, the voice actor Yubi with very layers for multiple characters. I didn't just do it anyway, I felt like it was a force, but I knew it was a cop the whole time. I walked forward and I got hit by a car. As I kept on training because I knew they were going to hit me with a car, Lily. I did minimal damage. You know how I like to say, oh, I'm such a gangster today, oh, this, and that, I'll knock you out. As soon as I go on that same street, Lily, my home people where I used to work at, where I knew they used to set me up, is when I'm going to get killed. When they're going to, try harder and harder and harder. I didn't survive last time. I have a scar, Lily, on my left side of my eye. What happened was, Lily, I was blind, I was knocked out, so I used my legs as propellers, knowing that I was working on them for a while, and I dashed all three in a triangular fashion. I was blind and made sure they're all hooks. I killed every single one of them, and then they want to talk to me nowadays, cops want to talk to me nowadays. Oh, they felt your hit, Lily, were dead after being dead by one hit. Okay, you kept on moving, just like how I'm getting dead today. If I'm not getting money, Lily, what's the whole point? Afterwards, it was established, so what I did was I went to go watch Jay in Georgia after I just got done with the fight. Even though I suffered very minimal damage, I recognized I could have died as a whole. Here kept on pressing on. What happened was that the even greater non-specials were being confirmed, like Bree and Habasay Canby, because she was originally, alternate to Storm Geek. They loved the way I played the video games. They didn't like how they matched my choreography. This was Auntie Lisa's, biggest, achievement. So this year wasn't packed with music. So what I did was I made, a music video where SS Goshen Fur as Super Saiyan Goku on the piano while King Kong, the Great Ape, was playing. I became the original version of a rapper. This rapper is mixed with Lupe Fiasco, Fabulous, and then on forth. That's exactly what happened. I started posting lyrical rap like when I was a little kid. Hey, I'm just rhyming, Lily. And Andre was like, hey, that's hella tight. I grew up for a club baking, music generation today. What happened, was all three of those happened, so this is where the year gets intricate. I don't know when, I don't know where, but literally how this year was paneling when I was going to, the Valentine's Day special, literally, so I went to the Newport Mall. I walked the steps, literally, and then Uncle Tommy was trying to make an argument, literally, so I went to the mall for extra long, literally, and Dad came back and he was still there, and now I recognized that the cops could have been in and out trying to get an advice, literally, he goes somewhere, literally, and do this, and that, and now I know how domestic violence works. It works on points, literally, if you have more points to a fucking cop, literally, that means the cop can hide and do something where they can't force principle, at will, if you let your guard down, but if you keep on, doing things straight like me, the banana in the movie theater, you force them into two different worlds of how our blood can do. Now I just realized that literally from Halloween and everything, cops were talking to them side by side. Literally, I heard him, talking to Tommy saying that literally, this is 2 years and you guys, fucking them up when dead, you guys get tortured for 7. Like bullshit, that cop can even get arrested. Okay, so back to 2021. What made this year so impactful, there was this character called, Carmack, that was based off Karma in real life. The original reason why I yelled out Uncle Tommy is he had, a soundtrack for Hibison that starred Fabulous in E40, Automatic. Her name was Carmatic, and it played off the original Zopio formula. We get the revelation for this year, Lily. I had Hibison, Crystal the Elephant statue, and Fortress all working side by side for Valentine's Day special. I still didn't see any clip at the end of the day. So where this literally escalated was me making profile characters for characters like Jukeboxy and Shinobi Striker videos all in 1 year, 2021. So this year was so impactful. So originally the whole theme this year, when I got to hear it's over anime fan Lily, you are Cyrus and he is Jaden, Lily, because I adapted to a full-on nerd community that was based on talking like this, commentary for videos instead of the absolute intensity of Dragon Ball Z when we need meditation to survive. So what happened was I ended up dancing as characters, making the anime community jealous. Lily, I started saying shit when they were starting to be for Jordan. Lily, see how I got cool with Sunny and Tommy? Lily, Eris is my man. They imagine you escaping Yu Yu Hakusho. I started learning a lot more effects. To the point where you didn't recognize what I was doing as a whole. You see, I was using lore. And what happened was, my grown man, Lily, my little kid got validated so much, I started to watch cartoons on WCO.com, but I watch the right ones, like the ones that represent Japanese anime, like Moodtrix Unleashed. And from watching animes like Moodtrix Unleashed, I can understand why Livingstone's having a problem with his mom. Why won't everybody love me? Why won't everybody love me? Xylon, they don't like you for the right reason. After he's specifically hit by cringe, this is when I'm making fucking bacon shit, literally looking at purple fucking Tasmanian devil. I'm like, ah ha ha ha, this little African didn't know he had to be physically strong. Not fair at all when you hide away from something that I had to deal with when I was earlier in the past. There on in, when I started watching, cartoons like Are Grown Up, literally having mature themes, for teens. I got the revelation for this year when I, dodged bullets, once and for all, and, established that I was dominant. I had a water bottle around, wait till it was empty, I was on the swing, literally, and then I saw one of my children, it was Oscar from Penny. It was simply one with green eyes, and I saw her once into the group, and I only saw him once, literally, after owning my mom, literally, that I walked off like Future Trunks, they looked like the greatest year ever. Originally a full-on anime community from nerd, ended off, for classic R&B. What's even worse was on the way when I was making this little career for Chameleonaire, was when I created this anime character that I'm not gonna tell you at first, but I knew the whole idea. You see what Uncle Tommy in the Hood was when I learned how to be high tier with an Asian chick, he said cartoon, cartoon, cartoon. What that means is you're originally in the era there was high tier and mid tier. It was established the reason why you couldn't go upper ranks is because you were more social. High tier and mid tier has an effect, literally. It does the opposite, literally, of what low tier does. It affects people around them. Just like my skateboard on Instagram. If you see my little skateboard, on my Instagram, it's very advanced. It draws people's attention. So what I did was, originally, how I knew how high tier execution works is based off classical music. I also watched, the anime called Stelvia, which is a classic Gundam, where I knew literally how white people behind in school was through classical music, like, oh, we're playing universal principle, like folk music, so nobody would disagree with us. I made classical music 24/7. I even had an arithmetic beat or arithmetic sounds, so I rapped with multiple fast rhythms, literally talking about Dark Magician thoughts, talking about Emily and Stephanie. Bringing back the old world of 2000s 100%, making a song called Sky, which sounds just like the real Slim Shady Eminem. Or I got the group home, I literally have a cousin, in my head, saying, I like Sky better. Doing so, my execution, literally, for the greatest movie of all time, literally, was watching an anime called Bakken Test. Not Bayside, but Bakken Test. And what Bakken Test was people being trapped in a video game that I knew was for, a full-on community. Remember, it was Baka and then Test. I already knew how to use lore and watch Teen Titans correctly. The gorilla gang that it is. Here we got lightning and thunder from Teen Titans. So it originally, made me, because I had a rap battle where I got him Sabo do what he barely won, but it's very complicated and collaborated through a lot of research. The part where I fused the two characters together and made Akihisa Lightning and made you follow side by side. Then I trapped myself in COVID, so as the year went on, literally, when I recognized that I was in a regular forward position, I flat out named the character just Nokia. Nokia inspired from Akihisa Lightning from the song from Chameleonaire, Hip Hop Police. I couldn't call the police, who was in the right answer. So forth, Lily, I started trapping people like Aaron Lily. When I made this character's designs from Nokia and Subaru, somebody has to teach you that, but in reality, I dodged a bullet because how public school comes at me is with bullet comprehension. I also had Mr. Enter, I had multiple top views on top of top videos, but what ended up happening over time is the reason why they give up, the reason why I won the wars, because you didn't follow up with an organic meaning and purpose. Constant reference why I could affect matter, but not recognizing why affecting matter is important. That's like literally a little kid staring at a bike being bad, literally hanging around the bike, but never being able to even tip the bike. In fact, literally before you tip the bike, he falls down. In doing so, by watching Mr. Enter's documentary, I decided to make the movie Bayside with Nokia and Subaru. It's off the script of the episode where he's in the inner dimension. Then we have it, so it's not done yet. I create my auntie Lisa as a Saint Mona Lisa. I was so prepared for everything. Her daughter India, I was with her rap battle, and she rap fast, and I started going, oh, Tarzan. In doing so, I created multiple descriptions for anime movies like Ant Holes. I mixed the movie ants with the movie holes. Here we have it, the biggest piece of resistance for this whole year of 2021 was Uncle Stami, General Stami, Grievous in the movie Nons, Uncle Tommy's Brick House Bandit, when I put my Uncle Thomas Beecham as Steve for American Dad. Reference how he was scared in the beginning and how he was also advanced literally in the beginning of the fight. Kick-ass character design that then became Mirage, like I said earlier in my videos. I ignored your criticism when I did my own thing when I had free mindset, which is what autism is known for. I created Mirages that have billions of people in my fan base. The movie was Uncle Tommy, Uncle Thomas Beecham, of all the characters, including Tandro and Yujimoto. So the bare truth of this, Lily, was I was excited in the studio where I finally got a Toy Story 1 by doing the cartoon review of Alice and Miranda, when Alice was just like Julia, every single piece of my research was getting rewarded. Not like Toy Story 1. In 2022, the validation continued. That's where it came down to it, even though Uncle Tommy was the main character, I was excited to outdo remote roles, including Gabaya, which is his nephew, and Zap, really the other leader of Team Ghost. Was gonna outdo him a ton. What I know about the movie is that Zap is gonna have the most tuts, and gonna have the best tuts. And it blew his fucking mind. Like, hey, Uncle Tommy, you wanna go for a set? What the fuck? People weren't being mature. Lily, taller, this. Lily, that's it. Older that. That's all. 2021 was that magnificent year. I got to see my kids. I got to be dominant. I got to put part across. I got to get Brianna pregnant. I lived through every single one of my dreams. Wait till there's a Tommy Yuri in the animation. But as things dragged on, me doing high tier things like Asian girl Lily with a pink hair Lily, one green stripe, is now considered a foreigner because they forced racism in other world countries down my throat. For now, this is the full 2021 review, Lily, with no sugarcoating involved.